you're most definitely wearing that foam cheese head, and I don't even have to talk you into it. Until now, I completely forgot that you kind of like the Packers.
Yeah, they were my team when I was a kid because it was in the Oakland Raiders. Well, they were one of my teams.
Yeah, wait, you should have been like.
If you say the Niners, I swear to God, I'm gonna fly over there and kill you.
No, I was gonna say you should have been like Ice Cube and just follow the Raiders wherever the hell they go. But
true.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're still going to be a Raiders fan, even though they're not going to be in Oakland for much longer.
Yeah. Don't remind me of that, please. Can we move on? This is just hurtful now.
I recently found out that there's something called an art Modell rule, and I don't quite know what it is, but it's something about regulations before you're allowed to move your team.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know what this was. I got to look it up now, because they literally call it the art Modell rule, and that's why, and I guess it goes for a lot of different sports. That's why they're giving the Columbus soccer team, they're giving them crap about moving out of Columbus and wanting to go to Austin, Texas. Wow. Art Modell pissed off so many people that they have an actual rule about him now. That's crazy. But anyway, moving on, you are not listening to a football podcast. Sorry to get into that. By the way, you saw that poster for Hell in a Cell, right?
Yeah.
Where Roman's like Satan, and then Braun Strowman's like some demonic whatever the hell. People are crapping all over it. I thought it was awesome.
I mean, it's original.
Well, the thing is,
it's
people are complaining because they're like, well, they already did that with CM Punk years ago, and they posted, and there was a picture of they turned Punk into the devil for it.
Oh,
whatever.
That's right. WWE never repeats anything.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, so what if they already did it? It's like, it still looks cool, but everybody's like,
well, because now it's like not just Punk, and how dare they do that?
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is the lamest poster ever. It's like, it's kind of a ripoff of a previous poster that you all thought was awesome. So, is it because...
You just said it was good.
Yeah. So, what the hell ever. I'm done trying to figure out marks. I just don't get it. But another...
The internet does, man. It gives them all a voice.
Unfortunately.
Think about this. You wouldn't know about any of this if we didn't have an internet. Just think about that. So
I know. We didn't know about any of these whiners back during the Monday Night Wars. Thank God. I am a little sad, though, that if Guardians 3 doesn't come out next year, you and I are huge nerds, so that kind of hurts. But oh well.
I'm interested to see if they just keep them killed off now. Spoiler, killed off in Guardians, so.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll see. I hope not, because, I don't know what the term, I guess popular. He's his character is super over popular, whatever the hell.
He came out of a box. Mother effer, he's over.
He didn't come out of a box. He came out of a monster in the second one. It means he's over. Pop out of a monster, you're instantly over. I don't know. We're dragging this out. By the way, I know I'm kind of nitpicking here and whatever, and most people nowadays, which is pathetic, listen with the volume on mute half the times because commentary is so god awful. But seriously, we talked about this last week, Michael Cole can literally ruin anything. When The Undertaker comes out, and I realize Michael Cole's job is to act like everything is the greatest thing he's ever seen in front of him, but when Undertaker comes out and he screams as loud as he can, "Oh my God, The Undertaker!" I'm just like, dude, just shut up. You just ruined it. Just shut up and sit down. I don't know. That just kind of...
So we got Corey Graves.
Thank God. The other thing I want to nitpick about is all the commentary teams, if they can quit giving sound effects every time a move happens, that would be great. That would just be awesome. Because especially watching the highlights where they, just put the moves, the big moves in there or whatever, every time somebody hits a move, oh, ah, wow, ah, I'm like, God dang it. It's
We're drawing inspiration from the old Batman from the 60s. Boom, pow.
It is. I'm like, just why do you have to give sound effects? Like, it doesn't add more oomph to it. Like, we get it. It's impactful. Like, you saying "ah" doesn't, whatever. I'm sorry to go on a tangent about commentary. Just like those are little things that bug the hell out of me. I have not. Have you watched the Mae Young Classic yet?
Yeah, the first episode.
Okay,
There's more than one. I haven't seen it, so.
Okay, I haven't gotten to it at all yet, but from what I heard from people on Twitter, Michael Cole was actually pleasant to listen to on there, much like when he did the UK tournament, because he's not being produced, or overly produced, I should say. So, that just goes to show you he doesn't completely suck. It's just Vince McMahon screaming in his ear, overproducing him. That's when he sucks, and he's unbearable to listen to.
Say it, pal.
Say it, damn it. Big sweaty man. Sorry, I just had to jackhammer that reference in there. By the way, while you're talking about taking them out, whatever, and I know we talked about All In earlier, and we're getting to stories about that later. Taking a quick sidebar here. I was seeing people, anytime somebody would be like, oh man, All In sold or had 11,000 people, in attendance. Awesome for them. Great show, blah, blah, blah. Then somebody inevitably would reply, well, Raw just had 18,000 people this past week, so F you. And it's like, and Christopher Daniels came out and was like, if you're comparing our show to Raw, then shut the hell up and leave me out of it.
Well, I mean, it was good for them they did that, but let's always remember WWE does that on a nightly basis. So
yeah, but let's also remember WWE. How much exposure do they have compared to these guys? Like, come on.
Yeah, but that's not their fault, though.
Well, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying it's like one is a major because if WWE didn't sell that many tickets, something is wrong. People expect that. They're like, for all this exposure and all this advertising and all these products and whatever, you better sell that many tickets. These guys, the fact that they sold that many tickets was like with, basically social media was like, well, damn. Like that's the major difference. And comparing Raw to an independent show is like apples and oranges at the end of the day. So it's like, and I don't know why anybody had to compare it anyway. It's like, I hate both sides because, like, the indie fans, oh, well, that was so much better than Raw and whatever else. And then the WWE fans, well, we get more people every week. And it's like, can we just watch both shows? Because you know what I did last week, Greg? I watched All In, then I watched Raw, and I watched SmackDown, and I enjoyed all of it. And I didn't compare, and I didn't complain.
Well, there's something wrong with you then.
Oh, I know. I need to go online. I need to go on Twitter and complain more. Oh.
And get Uncle Dave involved.
There's too much complaining nowadays. Just like everybody complains about, if you're not complaining, then, you're just not a person, I guess. It's like, just shut up and enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then quit watching. And I'm talking about all forms of wrestling. And of course,
I like that little Izzy's that girl Izzy, Bailey's super fan. She's tweeting hard about All In, like talking about how much she loved it.
Yeah. Well, you see that she made the news a couple weeks ago. Like everybody and their mother came out and was complaining because somebody did a choke slam on her during a match. I don't know, man. Like, I would everybody's complaining about, why would you choke? Like, who's that wrestler? Why would they be choke slamming a little girl? It's like, okay, why isn't anybody calling out her dad if they're really mad? Because at the end of the day, her parents gave permission for this.
Yep.
So, whatever.
I'm just saying, I was like, you think she's like a hardcore WWE mark, but she's like watching the show and praising it. And,
yeah, I know.
Goes to show you who's watching.
Yeah, I know. Well, we got numbers about, later on about, all that stuff and whatever. And these guys, man, like, it just amazes me how much marketing they've done for it because they're selling autographed turnbuckle pads. They're selling pieces of the ring mat. They've like just all this crap. They're making like buckets of dough off of this. It's crazy. You know, because I thought it's like, well, show's over, okay. You know, they might sell DVDs or something or Blu-rays, whatever the hell. But they're selling everything, and they're making so much money off of it. It's like they could retire after that show. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. But anyway, getting back to the WWE here. Oh yeah, that was another thing. Freaking Cody just trolled the hell out of everybody on Twitter. This is, well, if you're listening to this Wednesday, this past Friday, he posted around 2 o'clock or 2:30. He said, "Big announcement at 3 p.m. Eastern," and everybody like started freaking out. And and then he tweeted right after. He was like, "Relax, it's not all in too." And it was that he's writing a freaking children's book.
Oh my God, that is huge.
Huge. Big league.
Big league children's book.
Big league. Biggest children's book since the one Mike Pence wrote. Huge. The one Mike Pence wrote about his rabbit. Not joking. Serious. Oh, God. And, you know, Conrad brought this up to Bruce Pritchard. It was a good thing. He said, you know, look at all these people that got fired for, you know, wellness violations in WWE. How are they able to, you know, just be perfectly fine in TNA or Impact or whatever the hell? And Bruce said, you know, well, they were clean by the time they got to us, or they were, you know, they were passing the state-mandated tests and whatever. It's like, wow, that's bad, because Kurt admits he was still doing pills and whatever when he was in TNA. Oh, man. For all of you nerds out there, like Greg and I got to see Chris Hemsworth, Frank Grillo, and the Russo brothers. That was cool. Unfortunately,
yeah, Russo.
Yeah, unfortunately, no Vince Russo, but you know the Russo brothers.
No, Vince Russo's white, dude.
What the hell?
He's not a brother.
Yeah. It took me a second. I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" It's funny that you brought up the Paige thing. I found out. You know who? She's like. I guess she's involved in this. It's actually like some like atheist kind of like satanic label, whatever.
That shocks the hell out of me.
Yeah, like it's some pretty like some of them are kind of offensive if you look at them, but like the guy that she's involved with is Eva, or not Eva. Crap, what was that one that used to be with the Colognes? That girl, I can't think of it. Rosa Mendez. Her boyfriend or husband or whatever the hell he is, it's him and Paige's label at Hot Topic.
Oh.
And that's why you see...
They're going to get Aleister Black next, right?
I would assume he would be a model for that. I guess Seth Rollins has modeled some of the stuff. I would assume Aleister would as well.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would CrossFit Jesus model anything with atheists? I don't buy that.
Well, if you get offended by this stuff, you know, because they've got like pentagrams and goat heads and whatever all over the stuff, and then they've got.
I don't know if I'm offended so much as freaked out and scared, but I don't know.
Well, and there's one of like.
I don't like it. Put that out there. I don't like it.
Well, and there's one of like there's pictures of like burning churches and stuff like that on their merch, and it's just like, oh my gosh. So yeah. I
like to say to each his own, but there's a certain limit. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
It's like,
but
it's the bottom line. It's like it's offensive to other people. Like I wouldn't do that to any other religion, you know, or lack thereof religion. So I don't know. I'm more sensitive about that stuff than other people. Whereas like I don't like to go out and just like offend other people because of their beliefs.
No, yeah, do unto others. You know, I believe that.
Yep. You hear the original thing about that, by the way. Pritchard was talking about. I guess he was supposed to be like marketing came in. They were like, "Oh, he's going to be a Portuguese soccer star. We're going to sell soccer jerseys and this, and he's going to kick balls out in the crowd, all this other stuff." And Vince asked the question. He was like, "But does he play soccer?" And they're like, "Well, no." And he's like, "Then we can easily, like, people can easily disprove this."
Yeah. I believe that because Pritchard said that Duke Josie actually was a garbage man.
Yeah, that's right.
The guy who was a magician actually was a magician.
Yeah. Yeah, what was that? What was that magician's name with the frickin' black and white face paint?
Oh, man, I think it starts with like an M or...
Yeah, but it's not Mysterio, but that's... and he... Man, I can't remember his freaking name. Pritchard said he hated that guy because he said he set Gorilla on fire by accident one time.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he was like, yeah, he told us he was a legit magician, and then I'd be like, "Oh, can you do this?" "No, I can't do that." "Well, what about this?" "No, I can't do that either." He's like, "Well, what can you do?" "Well, I can pull stuff out of my mouth." He's like,
and that's what he
okay.
did too.
Yeah. He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, I can set stuff on fire. I'm pretty good about that." Okay. He says that, and then he's like, I smelled something or whatever, and he's like, I look over, and there's a freaking fire. I'm like, dude, you set the backstage on fire. What the hell is wrong with you?
This is when they were still in bingo halls, so the whole place could have went up.
Oh, I know.
Fantasio was his name.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sure he was...
I like that he said when Conrad called it, "Whoa, so they all lived the gimmick." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "So was Kane a dentist?" Well, that's when we got a little creative.
What the hell? He was a real Christmas creature down in Memphis, but, you know. My God, the stupid gimmicks that guy had. Poor guy. Good thing he's mayor.
It's no box of gimmicks, okay?
You know, I was thinking now that now obviously he's Mayor Kane, but when he's like, you know, served his term limit, whatever, he's term limited out, and he's no longer a like in public office anymore, he should come back to WWE and he could be Citizen Kane.
Oh my God!
What?
Do not them ideas.
Come on, that was a good one. You got to hand it to me on that one. Come on.
It was really good, but don't.
I know. If anybody happens to be listening, they're like, by God. UFC Fight Night 136 is coming up. Hunt versus Olenek, I think is how you say that name.
Yeah, Olenek, yep.
Yeah, coming from Moscow, Russia. So UFC Moscow. It's coming up.
Let's just talk about what everybody wants to talk about.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
229.
Yeah, we will. September 15th, by the way, is the date for that. The next one, UFC Fight Night, coming from Sao Paulo, Brazil. That's Manoa versus Santos. Thiago Santos is the main event there versus Jim Manua, I think.
Manua, yep.
Yeah. So there's that. Flash Entertainment has sold its 10% of UFC to Endeavor. I don't know what that means for the company, if anything.
Nothing.
Yeah. So, for those of you out there that give a damn, there you go. Flash Entertainment's out, Endeavor's in, 10% of UFC, so basically they have no say over anything. But yeah. Speaking of which, did you see he's going on like a tour with Hogan and Nash? They call it...
he won't. Spoiler, he ain't going to make it. Move on. Anyways.
Well, I guess they're calling it like the Too Sweet Tour or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They said it's like an NWO reunion tour.
Show up and sign some autographs. I don't know.
Last I saw earlier this year, X-Pac, who is wrestling on the indies, is X-Pac, by the way. He's got his old green singlet, but he's got the NWO logo slapped on his thighs. So it's like a clash of DX and NWO. It's weird. But he was tagging with, do you know who Eric Cannon is?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he was teaming with him, and at the end of the match, X-Pac's girlfriend and then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash get in the ring, and they give Eric Cannon an NWO t-shirt and, quote, induct him into the NWO.
Yeah, I'll pass.
That all sounds terrible. But yeah, continue. Sorry, this little sidebar. What event was that at? Was that on Nitro or was that a pay-per-view?
I just watched it. I just watched it today. It was at SuperBrawl 2000.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I just had a flashback. I forget why I didn't go to that event, but it was in the Cow Palace. I was almost at that event. I forgot about that.
Well, lucky you. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, go on your WWE network if you have it. Look up SuperBrawl 2000. Or don't.
Big Al. It's a leather jacket on a pole. They call it a skins match. Spoiler. Wait for it. Tank wins. And then he uses a knife to cut up the jacket, and then he holds the knife to Big Al's throat.
And he says, "I will effing kill you," very loudly, right next to the camera.
Also, before anyone says anything, this is not Vince Russo. I think he's gone from WCW at this point.
Was he?
Yeah, he was let go the night of Sold Out 2000. But I don't want to jump ahead.
A jacket was on a pole. How is this not him?
I don't know. Unless he booked in advance and they kept it. I don't know.
I was going to say that, but we're talking about Vince Russo. He didn't book in advance. All right, so
you're telling me that Kevin Sullivan's sitting around going, what would Vince Russo do?
I'm going to say that exactly. Yes. Let's keep the ship afloat with what would Vince Russo do. Did you ever hear Jim Cornette talk about Sid's time in WWF when he was there?
About him collapsing and faking it or something?
No. He did. Him and Pritchard said they don't think he was faking it, but they do think he was kind of milking, stuff.
Well, Pritchard, I don't know if he was joking. He said something about, it was softball season, so he might have been.
Yeah. Well, that's Cornette said he was out legitimately injured, and he was milking it, and finally Vince blew up, and he's like, "Why am I paying him all this money?" He's like, "Call Sid, tell him he needs to get his ass to Raw next week, and he's got to cut a promo. He doesn't have to wrestle because he's not in shape, but he has to perform, or he has to at least cut a promo. I got to get something out of him." And so I guess it was falling on Jimmy to call him. And he calls and gets his wife because he was out playing softball, shocker. And he was like, "Well, tell Sid he's got to be at Raw next week. Just cut a promo." And she's like, "Well, he hasn't been working out and he hasn't been tanning." And he's like, "We don't give a damn. He just needs to be there." And she said, "Well, sometimes Sid feels like he would just be happier going back to selling farm chemicals." And Jimmy's like, "Well, sometimes we do too." Oh man, yeah. So no love lost there.